They say time waits for no man, but the truth is neither does destiny. Every second you hesitate, every moment you excuse, you hand over the pen of your life to fear, and fear has no interest in writing your legend. Excuses are the stories we tell ourselves to stay small, elegant little lies wrapped in logic and comfort. They sound like, I'm too old, I'm not ready, I wasn't born into it, I don't have the time. But listen to me carefully. Every excuse is a brick in the wall that stands between you and the life you were born to build. And while you're rehearsing reasons, someone else is rewriting their reality. Edison didn't wait until he had the perfect conditions. Ford didn't ask permission. Carnegie didn't sit in the shadows. They built empires out of hunger, out of fire, out of absolute, unshakable belief that there's no obstacle greater than a determined soul. You don't need more motivation. You need a decision, right here, right now, to stop negotiating with your limitations and start executing your potential. This isn't about being better than anyone else. This is about being better than the version of you that keeps settling. Burn the excuses. Build the life. Everything begins in the mind. The man who thinks he can and the man who thinks he can't, they're both right. That's not just philosophy. That's physics of belief. Your mind is either your master or your servant, and it's been trained by society, by trauma, by repetition to seek safety over growth, comfort over calling, survival over purpose. And the world will applaud your excuses because excuses are contagious. Misery loves company, but greatness stands alone. You don't get what you want. You get what you are willing to become. And becoming someone different requires mental rebellion, not against the world, but against your own mediocrity, your own distractions, your own comfort zone masquerading as normal life. When Napoleon Hill wrote Think and Grow Rich, he didn't hand you a to-do list. He handed you a mirror. He showed you that riches, real riches, begin with clarity of thought and emotional intensity, the burning desire, the definite purpose, the obsession that becomes your oxygen. So ask yourself, not casually, but seriously, what are you thinking most about? Fear or faith? Because your dominant thoughts will script your future. And if your mind is filled with doubt, you'll attract delay. If it's filled with belief, you'll start bending time to your will. Every action, every risk, every sacrifice, every bold decision is born from belief. The Wright brothers believed flight was possible before physics agreed. Disney believed in magic before the money existed. Mandela believed in freedom when the world locked him in chains. Belief is the birthplace of all revolutions. But belief is not a passive thing. It's not affirmation whispers and mood boards. Belief is built through work, through proof, through showing up every single day with the audacity to say, this life is mine to shape. Excuses are born in doubt. Progress is born in faith. Most people are walking around hoping the world gives them permission. But belief doesn't need permission. It demands results, and it moves, even in the dark. So if your current environment doesn't believe in you, good. Let them doubt. Let them laugh. Let them talk. You weren't put here to be understood. You were put here to be undeniable. And you don't need everyone to believe in you. Just one. You. If you believe with enough force, the world eventually catches up. You cannot hit a target you do not see. Clarity is not a luxury. It's a requirement. The universe rewards the man who knows exactly what he wants. Not vaguely. Not more money or a better life. That's noise. That's fog. The world is full of wanderers chasing goals they never defined. What is it you truly want? Not what looks good on social media. Not what pleases your parents. Not what society told you was acceptable. What burns inside you? What vision keeps showing up in your imagination when the world goes quiet? That's your blueprint. Until your vision becomes clearer than your distractions, your excuses will win. Burn the fog. Get precise. See it in detail. Smell it. Touch it. Own it in your mind before you ever hold it in your hands. Napoleon Hill taught us that definiteness of purpose is the beginning of all achievement. Not talent, not money, not luck, but clarity. Sharp, obsessive clarity about what you're here to do. Because a man with purpose becomes dangerous. And when you know what you're here to build, nothing can stop you. Not fear, not failure, not even time. Because clarity creates momentum, and momentum crushes excuses. Vision is seeing the invisible and making it inevitable. Every empire began with someone seeing what didn't yet exist. Every innovation, every revolution, every breakthrough, it started as a whisper, a spark, a vision that defied reality. But most people never give themselves permission to see beyond the walls around them. They look at their past and let it define their ceiling. They measure their worth by what they've done, not what they could become. Vision doesn't care about your past. Vision speaks to your future self, the one buried under fear, failure, fatigue. And it says, you are more than this. If your vision doesn't scare you, stretch you, and stir your soul, it's not vision, it's convenience. Excuses live in short-term thinking, but vision stretches across years. It dares to see decades into destiny. It requires imagination, yes, but more than that, it requires emotional commitment. Don't just visualize, internalize. Live in your future reality until it becomes your present. That's not delusion, that's creation. The life you want already exists in possibility, but possibility is worthless without decision, discipline, and daily daily action. There's a voice inside you that does not speak in words. It speaks in hunger, in frustration, in fire. It speaks when you're lying awake at night, staring at the ceiling, asking yourself, is this it? That voice is your purpose, and it will haunt you until you answer it. Purpose is not found in a job title. It's not discovered in comfort. Purpose lives in your discomfort, in the tension between who you are and who you know you could be. It is the cry of your potential begging to be expressed before time runs out. Most people ignore that voice. They drown it with distraction, numb it with routine, bury it under responsibility. But let me tell you something. You were not born to pay bills and die. You were born to build, to grow, to lead, to inspire, to rise. Purpose gives pain a reason. It turns suffering into strength. Without it, every struggle feels like punishment. With it, every challenge becomes fuel. Think of Lincoln, born in a log cabin, buried in debt, haunted by loss. Yet his purpose was greater than his pain. He didn't just survive. He carved his name into history because he knew his life was not his own. It was a mission, and so is yours. You are here for something, not someday, now. But purpose won't wait for you to feel ready. It will challenge you, test you, break you, until you finally surrender the excuses and step into your calling. Purpose is the spark, but discipline is the flame that keeps it alive. Without discipline, dreams rot, talent rusts, potential wastes away in the graveyard of almost. Because discipline is not motivation, it's decision, made daily, especially when you don't feel like it. Motivation is a mood, discipline is a muscle. When Hill wrote about organized planning, he wasn't talking about dreams on a vision board. He was talking about war, a strategic, relentless, committed march toward destiny. He was talking about structure, sacrifice, and sacred routines, the daily non-negotiables that separate the wishful from the wealthy. You think Carnegie built an empire by showing up when it was convenient? You think Oprah rose from trauma to legacy by acting on feelings? Discipline is doing the thing when it's hard, when it's boring, when it's invisible. It's waking up when your body screams sleep. It's saying no to comfort when your mind begs for ease. It's doing what others won't, so you can live how others can't. Every time you honor discipline over distraction, you cast a vote for the future you're building. So stop waiting for the mood to strike. Show up, lock in, burn the excuses, and build the life. Nothing happens until you move. The graveyard is full of people who waited for the right moment, the right partner, the perfect plan. They died full of potential and empty of execution. Because ideas are worthless without action. Vision means nothing without movement. You can read every book, watch every video, journal every morning, but if you don't act, you're not building a life. You're building a fantasy. Ford didn't just dream of cars. He built them, one part at a time, one system at a time, until the impossible became the assembly line of reality. And you don't need to take massive leaps. You need relentless steps, consistent, focused, uncomfortable. Progress isn't always sexy. Sometimes it's showing up when no one claps. Sometimes it's grinding through rejection, uncertainty, failure. But every action is a vote for the life you're creating. And when your actions align with your vision, the world starts bending in your direction. People call it luck. They don't see the 1,000 silent days you paid the price. Stop waiting for permission. Take the shot. Send the email. Start the project. Launch the brand. Build the body. Move. Because the world doesn't respond to intentions. It responds to execution. In the pursuit of more, never forget to honor what you already have. Gratitude is not weakness. It is the strongest mindset on earth. Because when you can give thanks for little, you make room for much. When you appreciate what is, you attract what could be. Most people miss this. They grind with bitterness. They hustle from a place of lack. But abundance flows to those who know how to hold space for it. Gratitude is a frequency, a signal. It tells the universe, I see the good. I hold the lesson. I am ready for more. Even in pain, especially in pain, gratitude is the pivot. It says, this struggle is shaping me. This delay is teaching me patience. This failure is sculpting my resilience. You cannot grow in what you resent. You grow in what you appreciate. The most successful people are not just hard workers. They are grateful workers. They extract gold from every moment. They celebrate progress. They turn setbacks into stepping stones. And when you live in gratitude, your energy changes. And when your energy changes, everything does. You can either resist change and break, or embrace it and build. Life will not move in a straight line. No matter how detailed your plan, no matter how perfect your vision, life will test you. The terrain will shift beneath your feet. Doors will close. People will walk away. Circumstances will collapse. And in that moment, you will have a choice. Break with it, or bend and rise. Adaptability is not weakness. It is the hidden power behind every great achievement. When Napoleon Hill lost his publishing deals, when his work was rejected and his finances in ruin, he adjusted, he rewrote, he reworked, he persisted, because the goal never changed, only the path. Your excuses will tell you, it's not fair. Your power will answer, find another way. Think of nature's greatest survivors, not the strongest, not the fastest, but the most adaptable. That's not just a survival trait, that's a success strategy. The world changes fast, technology evolves, markets shift, people change. What worked yesterday may be useless tomorrow. tomorrow. So don't cling to comfort. Don't worship stability. Stay rooted in your why, but flexible in your how. Learn new skills. Build new habits. Reinvent your methods, but never your mission, because those who adapt ascend. If discipline is the muscle and vision is the compass, then resilience is your armor. It is the ability to get hit and keep moving, to lose and still rise, to bleed and keep building. The weak wait for ideal conditions. The strong build under fire. You will be knocked down. You will be misunderstood. You will fail again and again, but that's the process. That's the price of greatness, not punishment, preparation. Abraham Lincoln lost 8 elections before he became president. Edison failed 10,000 times before the light stayed on. Oprah was told she was unfit for television, but they did not fold. They forged themselves in pain. They didn't just survive setbacks, they used them. That's resilience. It's getting back up with more fire than before. It's hearing no and replying with, watch me, because every hit you take builds your story. Every fall becomes a chapter in your rise, and every scar becomes proof that you were never defeated, only refined. Resilience doesn't mean you don't feel the pain. It means you choose purpose through the pain. You want the life, then you take the hits, burn the excuses, build the resilience, build the life. You are not here to arrive. You are here to evolve. The moment you believe you've learned enough, you begin to decay, because success is not a destination. It is a process of endless expansion. Andrew Carnegie, one of the richest men in history, surrounded himself with thinkers, mentors, and books. His wealth wasn't just financial, it was intellectual. He devoured knowledge, not for information, but for transformation. Knowledge is leverage, but applied knowledge is power. Don't just collect facts. Study yourself. Study success. Study patterns, mistakes, moves. Be a student of excellence, and be humble enough to admit you don't know it all. Learning doesn't stop at school. It starts when you realize school taught you how to obey, not how to build. Read daily. Reflect deeply. Ask better questions. Take notes on your failures, not just your wins, because every mistake carries a seed of wisdom if you're awake enough to notice. Make mastery your mindset, not perfection, but progressive improvement, a constant sharpening, a never-ending pursuit of better, because in this world, you either grow or you're getting left behind. Energy is everything. You can have the best plan in the world, but if your energy is off, you will sabotage yourself. You will procrastinate, hesitate, and self-destruct. Energy is not just physical, it's mental, emotional, spiritual. What you consume becomes what you create. The food, the thoughts, the media, the people. Everything you allow into your system either fuels your fire or drains it. High performers guard their energy like their life depends on it, because it does. They don't just manage time, they manage state. They master mornings. They protect peace. They cut toxicity at the root, because when your energy is aligned, your output becomes legendary. Your emotions are energy. Your focus is energy. And where your energy flows, results grow. Don't waste it explaining your dream to the wrong people. Don't waste it reliving yesterday's pain. Don't waste it doubting yourself. Fuel it with gratitude. Anchor it with purpose. Explode it into action, because when your energy is right, your life starts moving. There will be days where nothing makes sense, when the results don't show, when the world seems silent, when every voice in your head says, give up. That's when faith steps in. Faith is not just belief. It's belief in the absence of proof. It's showing up when you're tired. It's moving when you're scared. It's trusting the process, even when the process is breaking you apart. Napoleon Hill wrote that faith is the head chemist of the mind. It colors every thought with power. It's what turns desires into reality, dreams into results. Faith is not about religion. It's about resolve, the willingness to walk blind, knowing your vision is real because you made it real. You won't always see the next step, but you must trust that the ground will rise to meet your feet when you move. Faith is the final hammer that smashes your excuses, because when you believe, truly believe, in who you are becoming, nothing can stop you. There comes a moment in every life where you must decide, will I keep telling the same story, or will I write a new one? You've carried excuses long enough. The world has heard your reasons. You've whispered them into dark corners of your soul like lullabies. I don't have time. I'm not ready. It's too late. I'm too broken. I need permission. But those excuses, they're lies dressed as logic, chains disguised as comfort, and every time you choose them, you trade your power for pity. You trade the life you could build for the life you tolerate. But hear this now. You do not get to keep both your excuses and your greatness. You must burn one to build the other. There is no shortcut, no handout, no savior coming to save you. You are the author, the architect, the answer, and the life you want. It demands that you rise, that you roar, that you refuse to die average. Look back through history. The greatest minds weren't the most gifted. They were the most committed. They had every reason to quit, every excuse laid at their feet like broken bricks, and they used them to build a kingdom. Edison was called mad. Disney was fired for lack of imagination. Hill was broke for decades before his book changed the world. But they all had one thing in common. They burned the excuses. They burned the fear, the doubt, the disbelief. And with that fire, they forged a life of impact, legacy, power. And now it's your turn. This isn't motivation. This is a call to arms. arms, to rise, to declare war on mediocrity, to stop waiting for signs and become one. Let today be the day you draw the line, the day you look in the mirror and say, no more hiding, no more waiting, no more excuses. From this day forward, you show up different, you speak different, you think different, you move different, you believe different. You no longer shrink for the comfort of others. You no longer betray your vision to stay safe. You no longer water down your dream to fit their doubt, because you weren't born to blend in. You weren't built for background noise. You were born to build. So build with faith, build with hunger, build with every ounce of fire left in your soul. You don't need approval. You don't need a perfect plan. You just need one decision. Burn the excuses, build the life, and don't ever look back.